What do you think about that? You know, I get asked from people all the time. I'm talking, it's a wildly popular comment because I show equipment and trailering all the time. And everybody always gets on to me and says, yeah, well, what do you do if you have to double load? Well, as you can see with certain things, it's zero issues. For example, if I had to pull two side-by-sides on here, pull one on, lock the trailer, and then just bring a simple set of ramps, put on the back and drive the second one on. If you double load a lot, I recommend you don't get a trailer like this. Get a full hydraulic, full deck one, so you can drive two on, it stays in there, and then you go hydraulically drive it down, or just don't get a tilt deck at all. I personally love having a solid front deck because a lot of times I'll carry pallet loads of stuff and do things. We've talked about this before, but I thought today'd be a good opportunity to bring it up because look, I've got a full zero-turn mower up there. How sweet is that too? This is a long mower, but because the deck tilts up, I can put it up here anyways. That's pretty awesome. Y'all, the other thing you could do is just put a set of ramps on this side right here. Say if you just want to pull a four-wheeler on or pull it up, drag it around. A lot of people do that. And then the other popular comment I get people all the time, good luck towing cars on this trailer. I did not buy this trailer to tow cars on. Otherwise, I'd have a full tilt deck with a winch up front. I don't do recovery. I don't do none of that stuff. I don't know why I get that question so much. I've never shown any of that on the channel, but I get it a lot. What you see, buddy? I know, I'm sorry. You can't go today. I can't keep an eye on you with all that I got to do. All right, so welcome back, everybody. As you can see, we're loading up some stuff I don't normally load up on the channel. We're heading over to the property. I'm excited to show y'all. You remember all the cleanup that we did from the river flood and then we planted grass seed? It's starting to look way different over there. It needs a really good mowing. So while I have this little grass, this is not my mower, by the way. While I have this little grasshopper here, this little 5 series, I just did a demo day on the property. Man, was that fun. I figured, what the heck, let's load it up and carry it over because my other mower's so big, I couldn't have went up front and whipped it around like this. I'm gonna do a little spraying today. We've got fertilizer for the grass seed, so that's why I've got the Ranger with me. And apparently Ruger thinks he's going too. All right, y'all, not a sponsored video. Y'all know how much I love sharing stuff. I need to do a review of these on my review channel. I finally broke down and got me some 2-inch rhino straps right here. I've had the 1-inch versions for well over a year. Bought them off Amazon, but I've been needing a 2-inch strap. This is the perfect strap with the perfect strength for mowers, especially all of y'all with UTVs and 4-wheelers. I don't trust 1-inch straps for these. But the cool thing is, you wind out as long as you want, press this button, it pulls this slack up for you. Nice, easy storage. Talk about easy, just wind up, be done with it. Plus you could take up the slack. For example, let's just go through the front bumper. Now I gotta just press this button, pull up my slack, it'll reel it in for you, and then just go to wind it. With as much towing as I have started doing, I've been looking for stuff like this. It makes it so much more enjoyable to quickly pull stuff out, quickly put stuff up. So here we are back over at the property. You can see we just brought the camper over the other night. It's been checking everything out, but y'all, doesn't it look different than the last time we were here? Remember the before? Now the after, we got green popping up everywhere. I cannot wait for y'all to see how well this grass seed's doing that we just planted, and I can't wait to see what this property is gonna look like in, say, 2 more months. All the dirt you see behind me should be gone. Look at all this grass seed coming up that we planted in the last episode. All right, so when you look, all you still see is dirt, right? I mean, you can see everything's greening up nicely. That's the original grass. But let me zoom in down here. Look at this, y'all. Look at all the grass seed coming up, all that baby grass, and it's everywhere. It's hard to see on the white sand, but trust me, it's all in the white sand. It's over here. I actually hate to be over here mowing right now, crushing this grass, but we've already been driving in and out on the ruts with vehicles that's much heavier in the mower, and I don't see no dead grass. So even though it's young and tender, it's handling the traffic, but we're getting such tall grass over here. Honestly, ticks and stuff are starting to move, and I don't like tall grass because they'll get on us, they get on the dogs, plus it just doesn't look as good. So speaking of, you see all these low bottoms down here? We got so much heavy rain, it washed a lot of my grass seed down here. So these areas are just naturally gonna be thicker. I mean, yeah, look at that. There is so much grass popping up down here because so much seed wound up down here. Look at areas like this. You can still see a lot of seed too. I can tell you what, I'm starting to get hot. Summer is on its way. So next, I'm gonna just put out some cheap fertilizer on this grass to give it a really good kick in the butt. Although I don't know when our next rain's gonna be, but today's the day that I set aside to do all this work over here. I wish I had my tractor spreader over here, but no bigger than this property is. Can't justify loading it up and bringing it over when I can just use the push cart. right, so next on the agenda, my friend the carpenter bee is as bad as I've ever seen this year. They are destroying my barns back at the house, and I'm sure they're bad over here as well. So we're gonna put up some carpenter bee traps. And they do work. I have caught so many over at the house this year, my jars are almost full and I need to dump them. Yet there is still bees everywhere, chewing holes all in my rafters. It is aggravating, to say the least. I really need to start painting all my lumber before I put it up. And before you say, hey, put up pressure treat, this new stuff is so weak, they eat it up as well. Not to mention, you don't want pressure treat touching metal and tin because it'll rust out. So if y'all haven't seen these, I homemade some carpenter bee traps a couple of years ago, and I got a few spares. You see those holes right there? I drilled them up at an angle on all sides. Didn't really have to do the back. Oh, I didn't. And there's one big hole that comes down into a jar. If you take a look at that, oh, I need to get them spider webs out of there because the bees are not gonna like that. Now, they climb up in at an angle because they see a free hole that's already drilled for them, because they can be lazy. They'd much rather go in something that's already done for them. And then they'll crawl down, drop down into the jar. Now it's lit up and they're thinking, uh-oh, okay, I've done come out another side, and they try to fly around. And they're honestly too dumb to go back up and crawl back out since we've drilled those steep angles. And they'll just stay in there until, well, honestly, they die. And I know a lot of people say, hey, you shouldn't catch, there's carpenter bee right there. Shouldn't catch bees. This is not honeybees, y'all. Do they still pollinate? Sure. Bees are very important, but when they destroy your structures and barns, you've got to do everything you can to protect your investment. And here's the bad thing. If you don't know this, when these bees drill into this lumber, what they're doing is they're creating a home, and they're laying a big old fat larva in there. Well, the drilling of the holes is already enough of a problem, but the major problem is woodpeckers have learned that that larva is just what they want. So they'll come back after the holes are drilled and literally destroy, peck, and just blow apart your lumber trying to get that larva out. So you've had two things completely destroy your structure. So I've got a few of these. I'm just gonna put a ladder up and we're just gonna hang some up on some poles because they love to stay up high around this untreated lumber. So we'll put one down there on a pole, another one back here in the middle. That might be a bad idea. Now I'm attracting bees in front of all my cameras, and they're probably going to set them off. Now, something really important that I forgot to mention and that I forgot to bring, it takes a while to get these traps started. You've got to get enough curious bees that actually go in there, die, not find their way back out, and they'll actually release a pheromone, which attracts a lot more bees. So once you start trapping some, the catch rate goes up dramatically. So what I should have done, and what I will do, next time I go home, I'll get some out of all my jars that are full. I need to dump them anyways, but never dump them completely. I always leave some in there. And I'll bring some back over here and bait my traps with them because all that pheromone and smell is in there. See, you don't ever know what you're gonna learn on one of my episodes, huh? All right, next is something very important that I need to get accomplished because we're currently in our tornado season. We just had a tornado warning here while we were here a couple of days ago. Thank goodness. The path, I don't know if it got confirmed or not, went just a few miles south of us, so we were okay. But high winds, crazy pop-up thunderstorms, tornadoes, and here comes our supposedly record-breaking hurricane season. I'm very concerned about our camper over here. These things can get a bit tippy and be blown over. A lot of y'all know we took a direct hit by a tornado about 4 or 5 years ago now. I can't remember. And I was working shift work and sleeping in a camper at our property before we built the house. Well, we took a direct hit. It destroyed the barn, the same exact size that I was underneath, crumpled it up, threw it in the yard, totaled the camper while me and our little dog were in there. The only thing that saved me, because the camper tried to flip, was because I'd anchored it to the ground for hurricane season. I never thought we would take a direct hit by a tornado. Luckily, it was an EF1 tornado. If it had been any bigger, I don't know if I'd be here talking to you. So if y'all seen an episode a while back, we just moved the camper because we had a flood down here in the river. So I put some of these earth augers here while we took the camper home. And as you can see, an armadillo has already tried to dig one of my augers up. So I've got earth augers in all around where the frame is. We got them all over the place on the camper. And what saved me when we took a direct hit by that tornado that time, the whole reason the barn flew away but the camper didn't, is because I had several of these in the ground. These are a little over 40 inches long, I think. They were very robust, and I ran cable through over the frame. And that's what we're about to do right now before hurricane season gets here, and I pray we never ever see another tornado. So I bought 6,500 pound rated aircraft grade tie down cable. It's actually pretty affordable. Always do at least 2 cable clamps, since this is kind of a friction hold. All right, so I was going to wrap this video up with me installing something that I just bought right here, but we've got a little bit of problem down at the river. All right, so when the river floods down here, which we just went through, and we also experienced a historical flood last year, literally 3 days after they accepted an offer on the property. Oh, we weren't sure if that was a sign or not. Well, we've been interested in river floods. So the problem is sometimes you come down here and you can't tell, has the river still coming up? Has it crested? Is it dropping? You can kind of see marks on the tree, but that's not accurate. Did a boat just come by and throw waves up? So you just don't know. And I've been thinking, how can I get an affordable solution to basically just measure up and down? I'm not looking for electronic or anything crazy expensive. And of course, like we always laugh about on the channel, I got on Vevor, and they sell just what I need. So this is called a grading stick right here, and it was super cheap. I think I paid, I don't know, 30, 40 bucks for it, maybe 50 bucks. I can't really remember, but it's made out of aluminum, so the river's not gonna rust it out. And the nice thing about this is you can get all different lengths, up to like 20, 30 feet. Well, I think I got a 14 or 15 foot model. Okay, 14 right here. So all you gotta do is just pull this out. It'll snap in. And you can keep doing that. You got, 7 feet, 6 feet, 5, 4, all the way down to 0. So think about this visual aid. You can keep pulling it out, by the way, all the way to that 14 feet. We get on the river and show you what I was thinking about doing with this, but we're gonna have to do it another day. By the way, as I've been mowing today, I'm noticing, rocks and some stumps that's been uncovered by all these heavy rains. Luckily, they're so low, I didn't catch them with the mower, but I kept eyeballing all this. I need to keep some ground marking paint over here. All right, that's nothing. And start marking these because it's not convenient just to keep running equipment back over to take care of some of this stuff. Like I've already lost I found 2 rocks today. You just don't know how big they are. Sometimes it's something like that sticking out and it's tiny. Sometimes it's a boulder like I've been digging out over there. I think we're gonna have to bring the stump grinder back. I don't wanna bring the excavator over now that I've got all my little grass coming up. It's too heavy a machine and I don't wanna disturb the ground. But like, look at this stump that just showed up out of nowhere. That's a pretty good sized stump. There was one right over there. Looks like it's been cut off for a very long time. I just don't know about all this stuff because we had so many storms and hurricanes on this property long before we bought it. I don't know what was here, what got blew over, what got cleaned up. It's just the way it is. Yeah, y'all can see the size of some of this stuff that's been coming out of the ground. Definitely no shortage of limestone over here. All right, so take a look down here at the river. Oh, this is what this property is all about, y'all. So I'm thinking about extending that stick out to 14 feet, and I've been trying to find a good tree to put it on. So when the river floods, the current comes rushing through here, so it doesn't need to be on this side or this side of a tree because it's gonna be catching the current, and I'm just gonna strap it to the tree. We're not gonna actually screw it in or damage any trees. So I was thinking that tree over there would be a perfect one until I seen, now that the water's down, it's got a big bend like this. That's not gonna work with a straight stick. I'm starting to think this one might be what I'm gonna go after. Problem is, River, it's dropping fast, but it's still up. Don't forget it was just up here a little while back. Or maybe this cypress over here. I'm still trying to make my mind up. All right, y'all, what a difference a day makes. I've been over here for hours. Mowed, weed-eated, fertilized. We got grass coming up everywhere that you're gonna be able to see here very soon. All right, so as we wrap this video up, y'all, we're still planning on building a little river cabin, river house. It's a house right here. It's not gonna be a log cabin. We have went through more red tape, more environmental stuff, and more people with their hands out wanting money than I could have ever imagined, but 'tis the world we live in. That build is still 100% on track. We've got the architectural plans completely done. I think we've got all the environmental stuff done. We've just got to do one more like soil test and get engineering done to figure out the type of foundation that's gonna be on the home and all, and then we'll be sharing that with you. And as long as the big environmental groups give us permission to build right here after all the hoops we've jumped through, I certainly hope they will. We are gonna have an exciting build series coming, and we have so much cool stuff planned for down here. You're just seeing the tip of the iceberg. Us just starting to develop and make this property our own, something so special that we want to share with y'all. We've got so much work and projects and fun stuff planned down here. Thank y'all for joining us and being a part of this. We'll catch you on the next one.